joined. So, okay, we will start. I hope you are seeing our slide. Isn't it PPT? I hope you are seeing. Visible? Visible? Please give feedback.
Yes, sir.
Good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Akash. Thank you. Thank you, Mahalakshmi. Okay, we will start. See, actually, in our this is the second session. So, in our previous sessions, we discussed a few points. So, just for refreshing, I would like to give you a small point. So, okay, we discussed what is programming language and what is program algorithm and a small idea about flowchart. Today, we will discuss flowchart in detailed manner. Then we focused what is problem solving methodologies and types of programming languages and like this. So okay. So actually just I will refresh. I would like to take 5 minutes. Okay, that is a programming languages we know very well. Okay, it is a set of instructions and this and this programming language is a set of instructions you know very well. The purpose is we wanted to execute okay a particular program for finding a solution to the problem. So we know very well we have certain problems. For example, we wanted to sort n numbers or matrix multiplication or library management system. We have that is numerous applications you know very well. Imagine that we have developed a one program for that with the programming language. We can use any programming language, you know very well. Maybe Python is one of the best programming language, or you can use C, C++, Java, like this. Tens of programming languages and all available. As far as our syllabus is concerned, so we focus Python programming. So in this bridge course, we would like to focus some introductory part, introduction about the programming languages. Already we discussed. So programming language is used to develop a code. Okay, that code okay used for solving any problem. So that is idea. Okay, you know very well. So last class we discussed, and you know very well what is a programming also. Then we discussed what is algorithm. So already I told you algorithm is a definite number of instructions. So that instructions will be executed in sequence manner. So this is one example. Okay. So for example, first instruction, okay, the algorithm wanted to start. So that start, then okay, read n1, n2. Okay. Then we find the sum, then writing a sum, then stop. So this is a small algorithm to find the sum of two numbers. You know very well. So you know very well what is algorithm. So algorithm is a finite set of instructions for solving a problem. And not only that, the set of instructions to be executed in sequence. That's a very important one. For example, according to this diagram, after reading that is a number, okay, the fourth line should not execute because after reading number without a sum, without a calculating sum, if we are writing sum, then we will get a wrong result. Or okay, default, okay, the garbage value will get. So that's a problem. So that is instructions to be executed in sequence manner. So like this, we discussed what is algorithm. So we know very well what is a programming language and what is algorithm and what are the qualities of algorithms also we discussed, isn't it? So one is called time complexity. That means, okay, that is a programming language. Okay, wanted to write a very good code, that is algorithm, and okay, this algorithm okay wanted to give result with a short time. So the time complexity should be minimum. Best example, Google. I search Google. Okay, so actually within what is called in a nanosecond or microsecond, I wanted result. That means the time complexity should be minimum. Few students and are waiting, I permit. It's okay. And the next one is a memory complexity. I already told you when writing a code, the code should be small. That means it should not consume more memory. And we wanted highest accuracy. Yeah, 100% is required because I am adding that is a 10 plus a 10. I am expecting a 200. Sorry, 20, isn't it? So like this, The qualities of algorithm is a time complexity, memory complexity. That means time complexity should be minimum, memory complexity should be minimum, and the accuracy should be high. And like this, we discussed. These are the qualities of algorithm. So this also last session we discussed. Okay. And I already told you this Python programming is common for all engineering stream. Either maybe aero, auto, agri, like this I told you, isn't it? So that all my dear children, students, learn this Python program and practice this program in such a way so that all industries will request you to join, because any engineering stream, if you have strong knowledge in Python programming, obviously you will get better job opportunity. So you know very well like this. Okay. So actually this programming languages we discussed. Then after that, 1 minute please. Okay. Next we discussed problem solving methodologies. So I already told you, if any complicated problem, okay, the problem should be analyzed very properly, or before analysis, we wanted to understand the problem very clearly. For example, I wanted to write a code for matrix multiplication. We wanted to understand how we can execute, how we can perform matrix multiplication. Without understanding concept, it is really toughest task to write algorithm as well as code, you know very well. That's the reason why. So that is a problem solving methodologies has, that is a certain steps. The first step is we wanted to understand the problem. Clear? And after that, next one is we wanted to analyze the problem. The analyze means we needed to understand how to solve the problem. Then after that, so after clearly understand the problem, we can design our code. Then we are executing code and getting a result. If a result is not satisfied, then we can redefine the algorithm or refine the algorithm. Again, we are developing a code that is called modifying a code, so that it is a continuous process. Okay, it helps us to get the 100% accurate, what is called very correct result without committing any error. So that is the idea behind this problem solving methodologies. So clearly speaking, problem solving methodology has the steps: understanding a problem, analyzing the problem, design the problem. Then after the design means a code. Then after that, if you are not getting result with the highest accuracy, then we wanted to refine the algorithm, okay, so that we can increase the accuracy. So this is the idea about problem solving methodologies. Clear? Some students till now are connecting, so I would like to admit, but I advise all my dear children to join on time. Okay, this time it's okay, no problem on that. It's okay. So this is the problem solving methodologies. So okay, this also we discussed, and the flow chart. Okay, today we will discuss. Okay, so that I will explain this idea later on. Then after that we discussed what is the machine language, assembly language, high level language. Okay, so machine, that is computer, does know only machine language, that is called zeros and ones. But being a programmer, we know, okay, we are comfortable to write in high level language, so that we prefer high level language to write a code. Then that code should be converted into machine level language, so that the computer will understand the meaning and it will execute. Okay, so for that purpose, okay, we have what is called a compiler. Okay, the compiler is converting high level language into machine level language, like this. Okay, that is a lot of points we discussed. Okay, so I would like to conclude what is the first day discussions. So the first day discussions, programming language, I hope you understood what is a program, what is algorithm, and some idea about the flowchart. Today we will discuss. It's okay. Then the types of programming languages. Till okay, do you have any doubt? Please post your reply. Okay. So I hope, okay, all my dear students understood what is programming language, program, algorithm, problem solving methodologies, and the types of programming languages. Give your feedback. Okay, I am waiting. If you have any doubt, I will explain. Then we will go to the second session. Any doubt? Till now, any doubt? Good.
No, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Keshav, okay, post. Very good. Very good. Alvin. Okay. Till now, okay, no problem. And even now, okay, few students joining. Okay, permit. It's okay. So till now, no doubt. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, we will proceed. Okay, today's session. Shivaji, thank you. Harshavardhan. Very good. Akash, Alvin, Keshav. It's okay. Thank you. So today we will focus. Okay, that is today's session. So in this session, I would like to focus. Okay, what do you mean by flow chart and what are the applications of flow chart? Okay, and its merits and few what is called the drawbacks also there. We would like to discuss. Then next one is a very important concept that is called is a connection disconnect. Okay. Few students now also joining. It's okay. So now we will discuss. Screen is not visible. Are you visible now? Akash? No. Wait. Visible? Please give your input.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Shivaji. Okay, good. Abhijo, Prashant, it's okay. Thank you. So now we will focus what is a flow chart. Okay, thank you, Keshav. Okay, that is flow chart means it's a pictorial representation. I already told you. Okay, the flow chart is the flow diagram or the pictorial representation. The main purpose is we developed algorithm, and to understand the algorithm very clearly, we can draw a flow chart. Okay, that's a very important one. So once seeing this pictorial model, graphical model, so we can understand the logic very clearly. So the main purpose of flow chart is used to understand our coding logic or the problem solving logic, okay, algorithm logic very clearly. So for this purpose, we use what is called flow chart. Okay. 11, could you turn off your 11, yeah? I mute. Okay. Okay, already muted. Thank you. It's okay. See, actually, flowchart I told you, okay. So that is no problem, Lavanya. No, sorry, and all. Okay. So the flowchart, okay, it is a flow diagram. So graphical representation, I told you, the primary objective of what is called flowchart is to understand the problem logic very clearly. The keywords and all, please understand. This time I'm expecting the university examination or university will conduct examination in online only, in terms of MCQ questions only. So we needed to understand all the keywords, the meaning very clearly. Okay. So flowchart is a graphical representation. The purpose of flowchart is used to understand the logic very clearly, and we can analyze the algorithm also very effectively. And based on that is a flow chart, we can develop our code without committing mistake. So these are the advantages of flow chart. So flow chart, graphical representation, understanding a logic, analyzing algorithm, and it helps for efficient code. And plus, okay, if you are committing any mistake, we can understand easily. That means debugging. So debugging is nothing but, okay, finding error and correcting error, isn't it? So the proper debugging, okay, it is possible when we are using a flowchart and all. These are the explain later on. Okay, with this idea, we would like to see, okay, certain what is called flowcharts. Needed to use for, okay, what is called developing or creating a flow chart. That's a very important one. So that, okay, I am showing what is called, these are the symbols, isn't it? All of you comfortable listening me? Any problem? Please give your feedback.
Yes, sir, no problem.
Thank you. Thank you. We will proceed. I project. If you have any doubt, okay, you speak. Now it is clear. Okay. So actually the flow chart, okay, these are the symbols, isn't it? So actually for, yeah, for, okay, that is a data. So data means, for example, if you wanted to read the data, isn't it? If you wanted to read the data from keyword, or if a computer is giving output, then we wanted to use this symbol. So data is input data or output data. Input data means we are giving a data to the computer. For example, I wanted to add, okay, 10 and 20. So 10 and 20 is giving to computer for addition. So 10 and 20 is what is called data. If you are representing a data, this is the symbol. Then after 10 and 20, if computer calculated and it is giving a result, okay, for displaying result also we wanted to use this symbol. So input data, output data representation, we are using this symbol. The name of the symbol is parallelogram. It's okay. Next one is, okay, that is a process. Process symbol is a rectangle. So what is a process? For example, addition, multiplication, sorting, and like this. All calculations are called process. For the processing, okay, we use what is called this symbol. This is called a rectangle, you know very well. Okay. Then this symbol is a diamond symbol. It is used for taking a decision. For example, that is a two decisions. I wanted to declare A is smaller or A is bigger, isn't it? Or A is smaller or B is smaller, like this. Okay, I wanted to take a decision. Here, okay, I am giving two value, A value and B value, and A and B I am comparing. After comparison, I can declare whether A is a larger one or B is a larger one. Okay, so for comparing, okay, for testing the condition, we are using what is called diamond symbol. It is called decision symbol. It's okay. Next one is, if you wanted to start the program or the stop the program, we can use what is called this symbol. This symbol is called oval. Okay. So if you wanted to start the algorithm, okay, or the end algorithm, we wanted to use this symbol. Okay. Then this is a document. So this a document is nothing but for reading a data. For example, data, it is available in my file, okay, in my hard disk and my pen drive. Our computer program is reading data from our pen drive and it is used for calculation. So at that time, we can use what is called this symbol. So this symbol indicates that, okay, we wanted to read the data from secondary devices. Okay. So up to this, okay, this is for starting and starting algorithm. And this is the part for calculation. And this for taking a decision. And this is for feeding an input or taking output from computer. And like this, please recollect all the symbols. Okay, this is a very important one. Then after that, okay, if what is called data available in a secondary device, that is a storage device, then we can use what is called this symbol. And like this, different symbols and all available. So with this symbol, we can construct our flow chart. Okay, once again, repeat. Okay, this symbol. Okay, this is for start as well as a stop, and this is for process, and this is for reading data and writing data. This is for taking a decision, and this is a connector. The purpose of connector means, for example, I draw a flow chart. Okay, and the flow chart, the first page I completed, the flow chart is continuous. So within the first page, I cannot complete my flow chart. So I wanted to continue in the second page. So at that time, okay, the first page flow chart and the second page flow chart, we wanted to connect. For this purpose, we can use connector. Then, okay, this symbol, please note it down. Okay, diamond with this line. Okay, this symbol is used for sorting what is called numbers or sorting name, sorting purpose. So if you are putting the symbol like this, okay, data is collected and okay, the sorted manner it will display. Okay, this already told you. Okay, this is for reading, writing from files. Then okay, this is a flow line. Okay, that is arrow mark. This arrow mark means the control is towards right side and it's a bottom. This up or left like this. So the flow lines okay indicates that the flow lines okay indicates that okay where it is our control flow. So this is a brief idea about the flow chart. My dear students, please understand the university examination. They may ask you, okay, so what symbol we will use for process? That is called a rectangle. Okay, what symbol we use for taking a decision? Okay, it is a diamond. So they will ask you, okay, draw a diagram, draw a symbol, okay, for reading a data from hard disk. Okay, like this. So this is the symbol. So like this, please understand all the symbols. Based on that, so I would like to okay demonstrate a one small flow chart. I already last session also I demonstrated. Now you can understand. Okay, the purpose of this flow chart for okay reading a two numbers and calculating its sum. Okay, so first that algorithm wanted to start so that this oval I used. Now you can understand what is the purpose of using this symbol. Okay, here I should not use a rectangle or the parallelogram. Please understand the algorithm is going to start so that oval I wanted to use. After start, where it will go? Okay, wanted to read two numbers so that the flow diagram I used, isn't it? Arrow symbol used this arrow going towards reading two numbers. Okay, for this purpose. Okay, so now the control is come down here and here. Okay, I wanted read two numbers, reading numbers. For reading purpose and writing purpose, we wanted to use parallelogram, so that I used this symbol. So now you can understand what is the reason behind this. So reading, writing, we wanted to use parallelogram only. Here we should not use either oval or rectangular. Please understand. Okay. And after okay, reading A value and B value, what I wanted to do, we wanted to find the sum. So next line, okay, it going to find the sum. Okay, sum equal to A plus B, we know very well. So this is a calculation part. So calculation part is nothing but a process. So that's the reason why we use what is called a rectangle. Okay, you know very well. After that, okay, now okay, I read the two numbers, I calculated sum. Then after that, the sum value I wanted to print. So print purpose, I can use parallelogram. You know, okay, either it is reading data or writing data, we wanted to use a parallelogram. Then after that algorithm stops. So stop purpose, okay, what is called that oval. So this is a small flow chart, you can understand. So with this flow chart, we can easily understand the flow. That means start, read, then calculation and printing. If any mistake we committed, okay, we can understand. This is the strength or this is the advantage of a flow chart. Okay. Similarly, I would like to show that is one more flow chart for clear understanding purpose. Okay, see here. Okay, this is the flow chart. This for finding the largest number among two numbers. Okay, I have that is a two numbers, say A and B. Then after that, the A and B I wanted to compare and I wanted to find out whether, okay, A is the biggest number or B is the biggest number. Okay, so draw the flow chart. It is very simple. Okay, the start, so oval I wanted to use, and the value of A and B I wanted to read, so that I'm using a rectangle, and after that I wanted to compare. Okay, so the comparison is very important. So A is greater than B, true or false, I wanted to compare. So comparison purpose, that means for taking a decision purpose, we wanted to use a diamond. That's the reason why I used the diamond symbol here. Here I didn't use oval, I didn't use rectangle or parallelogram. Purpose is for taking a decision, we wanted to use diamond. Clear? Okay, so diamond I used it. See here, if A is, let us consider A equal to 20 and B equal to 10. Now the condition is tested. 20 is greater than 10. Whether it is true or false, any one of you can give me?
True, sir.
True. Okay, thank you. Then the condition becomes true, so that, okay, 20.
A is printed, sir.
Yeah.
A is printed in output, sir.
Yeah, very good. So A is bigger. Okay, so this flow will be executed, and okay, it is, we will get the result. So that the program output is A bigger. Great. Okay. Similarly, if A equal to 10 and B equal to 20, the condition becomes false. Let us consider B equal to 20 and A equal to 10. This condition becomes A is greater than B is false. False means the control will come this direction. So coming here, and it will print B is bigger. So like this, a very small logic. The purpose of this presentation is to understand how to use, that is, symbols, different symbols to construct the flow chart. So definitely, okay, that in university examination, they may ask you to draw one flow chart for a small purpose. For example, for finding two numbers, adding two numbers, for multiplication of two numbers, finding biggest number or biggest among the three numbers, and like this. My dear children, a small input, this is not an assignment, just for home exercise. You can discuss with your friends also. You draw a flow chart to find the biggest number among three numbers. Not now, okay, think it over, the same idea, and you can refer the Google also, but for understanding purpose, okay, I would like to advise you. So draw a algorithm and the flow chart for finding the biggest number among three numbers. How, what will you do? Okay, so you want to read A, B and C, three numbers, and A is greater than B, you are comparing, and then, okay, B is greater than C. Like this, you know the logic. Okay, with okay, if that's idea, you write algorithm and draw the flow chart. It's for homework only, no need to submit to me. Okay, whenever we meet okay, in persons, you would like to discuss. As of now, a small assignment. My dear children, I hope you will do. Okay, so this is a small idea about, okay, that is a flow chart. So okay, till now, any discussion, any doubt? Please post. Very good. Okay, that is Abhiru asked what is a sorting. Sorting means, okay, now only I'm seeing. Okay, clear. Thank you, Alvin. Okay, okay, thank you.
No, sir.
Okay, that is Abizo asked what is a sorting. Sorting means ascending order or the descending order. For example, I have that number 10, okay, 5, then 2, 3 numbers. You sort in ascending order means 2, 5, 10, like this. Understand? So imagine that. So I have number 10, I have number, okay, the 4 I have number, then 20. Imagine that I have number like this. I wanted to sort in ascending order. Then I am sorting like this. Okay, so this is ascending order. Okay, this is one type of sorting, and descending order means, okay, this is another type of sorting. So the first one is ascending order and the second one is a descending order. Not only that, the name also in alphabetical order. So sorting means in order. Okay, thank you. So I hope, okay, you are confident and comfortable with this presentation. Okay, I hope, okay, you understand what is flow chart. Okay, so and that I assigned one small homework, okay, to read the three numbers and to find the largest number. So this is a small problem. Let us consider. For this, okay, you write algorithm. Algorithm is like this. You already seen the algorithm. I already explained you. Once again, I would like to show you. Okay, so this is a small algorithm. Okay, this is a small algorithm. This is the small algorithm. Okay, just for finding what is called the sum of two numbers. And like this, okay, write the algorithm, step by step algorithm. Okay, to read three numbers, and after that find the largest number. Okay, this is one algorithm you write, and based on that algorithm you draw the flow chart also. The flow chart is like this. Okay, so flow chart is like this. Okay, a small logic here. After this, one more part I wanted to add. You apply your common sense. I have 100% confidence that you can draw the flow chart very successfully. So I hope, okay, yeah, please. Screen not visible. Is it okay now?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, 1 minute. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Good. Thank you. It's okay. Next, okay, we would like to focus. Okay, flow chart now it's completed, and I would like to take that is another 10 minutes. Okay, 5 minutes. Then after that we will have a discussion. Okay, if you are not comfortable, even now you can ask some questions because no need to speed up. So I wanted, okay, all my children wanted to understand our discussion, okay, with a comfortable manner. Shall I proceed or shall we discuss? Yeah.
Proceed, sir.
Thank you. It's okay. Next one is building block. Okay. So actually, our building block means algorithm building block. So building block means, for example, what are the components required for construction? For example, I wanted to build, okay, that is a car. So what are the components required? Tire, wheel, steering, brake, and like this, different materials required. Okay. So with all those materials, I can construct my car. We can construct, okay, our mobile. What are the things required? Screen required, then slot required, motherboard required. Like this, you know very well. So like this, for constructing algorithm, for designing algorithm, what are the components required? Or what are the components we can use to construct algorithm? Based on the algorithm, we can develop a code. So that is called building block. So building block of algorithm means, okay, for designing algorithm, what are the components required? Next one is the building block of programs. Building block of coding means for writing, for creating code, what are the components required? So now I would like to focus, okay, building blocks of algorithm. So to construct algorithm, okay, what are the components required? You know very well what is algorithm. Okay, I wanted to construct algorithm. For this purpose, okay, the algorithm consists of two major sections. One is called heading section and other one is called body section. Heading section means, okay, it's a common for algorithm as well as code. Heading section means, for example, for what purpose, okay, I would like to use this algorithm. For example, I would like to show a small algorithm so you can understand. So see, okay, this is the algorithm. 1 minute. This is the algorithm. Okay, so this algorithm, this is called, okay, what is called the body section, isn't it? So reading a number, calculating a sum, writing number, this is called the body section, isn't it? So before that, heading section. Heading section means for what purpose this algorithm? Okay, for addition of two numbers. If I am putting, okay, typing here, okay, this algorithm used for addition of two numbers. Okay, then that is called heading section. So heading section used to understand the purpose of algorithm the purpose of program, and okay, that is the body section used for creating instructions, creating a steps or solving a problems and like this. Okay, so heading section and body section. So heading section means, okay, the heading section will start with the hash, H-A-S-H, this symbol, hash symbol. Okay, when writing a code, I will explain you. I will show the code so that you can understand which is the heading section and which is the body section. As of now, understand, heading section will start with this symbol, this hash symbol, and okay, after hash, you can whatever you wanted you can type. The compiler won't read the content. That means, okay, your own statement you can type. For example, after this symbol, okay, you can type this algorithm is developed by, okay, your name. You can type the like this. Okay, that is called heading section. Or after hash, you can type, okay, this algorithm for adding two numbers, matrix multiplication, sorting n numbers, like this. Okay, and then input, output, like this. What are the possible input you wanted to give? What type of possible output you are expecting? Okay, like this. Okay, so this is the additional information to algorithm or to program. So heading section is used to give additional information to the algorithm, and the heading section wanted to start with hash symbol. Okay, and okay, sometimes okay, we can include header files also. I will explain later. Next one is a body section. Body section means, so for calculation part, understand, for calculation part means, imagine that okay, I wanted to read two numbers and wanted to find the product. What are the things I wanted to use? I want to read A and I wanted to read B. Read A and read B coming under body section. Then I am calculating. Okay, then that is also coming under body section. I am testing a control whether A is greater than B or B is greater than C, like this, some test condition, that also body section. Then after calculation, I print my result, that also body section. Okay, so body section consists of all the statements. Okay, the combined statements will give us a result. Okay, and the heading statement, okay, it is additional information towards the program. So with this idea, okay, now that is 10:40, another 2 minutes, 3 minutes I continue. Then after that I'll give you what is called discussion time, or we can wind up. Okay, so actually that is a building block. Okay, now you understood. Then after this, okay, body section, certain group of statements and all there. Please understand. So when seeing a program, you can understand. Now, okay, imagine that small statements and all there. Okay, body section consists of, okay, finite number of statement I told you, sequence order I told you. What's the meaning? For example, read A, read B, read C, print A. This and all simple statement. Then after that, in the building block, one more state is called state. That is a very important one. State means from one state to another state. So with the example, I would like to demonstrate. Imagine that it is a program. This, okay, you see, this is the program. Our control is starting here. After that, this program is designed for, okay, developed for paying amount, okay, for any purchase. Okay, now, okay, I purchased one product. After purchase, imagine that I am going to pay. Clear? So I got, okay, I purchased, I got a bill. So at that time, what is the state? Unpaid state. Okay, this is called state. This is the one state. Okay, so unpaid state. After that, imagine that I paid. Okay, I transferred money from my net banking. I paid. So once paid, okay, the unpaid state becomes a paid state. Okay, so yeah, one task executed. Because of that, okay, from unpaid state to paid state. This is called state. Okay, then the control flow also I already told you. Okay, for example, one is a sequence of flow, other one is what is called the branching, and other one is called what is called iteration. Number of times it will execute. So we will discuss later on. I don't want to overload much. Okay. So now you understood what is a building block and what is a state and what is the sequence of instruction. And the selection of instruction is like, for example, the condition becomes true, this part will execute. Condition becomes a false, this part will execute. So true means this part, no, that means this part is selecting. So that it is called as a selection statement. And the iteration statement means, for example, I wanted to add 1 to 100. So that is here, I put what is called adding part. Okay, 1 is added with some, then second is added with some, like this. Okay, same part wanted to execute 100 times, so that the 100 numbers will be added. That is called iteration part. So we will discuss later on. Okay, as time is going up, I don't want to take much time. So my dear students, okay, at this point I would like to stop you. Okay, so see here. So okay, till now, okay, we discussed what is a programming language, what is algorithm, what is flowchart, what are the various symbols used for constructing a flowchart, and some flowcharts also we have seen. Then the problem solving methodologies we discussed. Then we know very well what is machine learning, machine language, assembly language, and a high level language, like this we discussed. Okay, I hope, okay, you are comfortable with these discussions.